Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. Wings Wednesday continues today as we're headed over to the Battle of Britain, where we're going to be playing Tally Ho by Historic Wings. I got rid of Skies Above Britain a while ago. This is actually a narrative-focused game set around the Battle of Britain by Historic Wings. So we're going to give this a try. We're on mission 3 today. And this one looks like it's going to be a pretty simple objective. There's nothing crazy in terms of having to protect convoys or anything like that. It looks like this one is going to be just a simple slugfest. So, let's go ahead and roll up our squadrons. I'm not going to bring the book on camera, but we're going to go ahead and roll for the RAF first. How did I set this up? Okay. So we're going to roll 5 times for RAF squadrons. We're going to use the blue die for the type of the plane, whether it's a Spitfire, whether it's a Defiant, a Hurricane, or a Spitfire. Red is for the number of Vics that they have, and then green is where they're going to start on the map. Looks like we've got the Wallop sector here that we're working with. So let's see where our first squadron is going. Okay, so we've got a hurricane. We've got a squadron of Hurricanes. Just going to double check my right. So Hurricanes with 4 Vics. And they are going to be starting at Tangmere right here. So I'm going to grab Hurricanes. Here we go. And it looks like I happen to have Squadron 10 for this group. So Hurricanes have... I know I brought a tracking forms in here for that. They've got 3 fuel. I'm just making my notes here. So Squadron 2... Actually, I'm going to bring the book a little bit closer. Because I want it closer for setup at least. Alright, that's another squadron of Hurricanes. This is going to be a problem. This one's got 2 Vics. They've also got 3 fuel. This one I'm going to end up grabbing this one's a number 8, and they are starting at, I think I forgot no, I didn't. 3 is they're starting at Tangmere as well. Make a note of that as well. Squadron 3. We've got another group of Hurricanes. This one has 3 Vics. Also 3 fuel. And they're also starting at Tangmere, so we're going to be pretty crowded there. I think that second squadron was 8. For another group of Hurricanes, I'm grabbing token 5 out. Looks like we've got nothing but Hurricanes at Tangmere. Our 4th squadron Hurricanes with an ace for a change. Hurricanes with an ace. This one's starting with only 2 Vics though. Also 3 fuel. And actually somewhere different. They're starting all the way up here at Middle Wallop. And that one is going to be number 7. I just have to remember that with an ace. This one is at, what did we say, Middle Wallop. I just have to remember that when this group engages in dogfights, they have... That group gets an extra D6 for an attack roll. Nothing but Hurricanes so far today. Our last roll is going to be Spitfires with an ace. Oh, I've got to grab... I did. There's Squadron 7. All right, Spitfires with an ace. These have... Let's see, red die for the number of Vics. They've got 3 Vics. Spitfires, I think, have less fuel. Yeah, no, they have the same amount of fuel. They are starting over here at Ford. So I need a Spitfire. Spitfire 5, that'll work. Spitfire 5, and we established they start here. Okay, so now we're going to roll for the Germans. I'm going to use the same... So I'm going to use mostly the same logic. So we're going to start off with... We're adding a pink die. We're using blue for the type, red for the number, green for which spot along the map, and I'm adding in a pink die for altitude. Okay, so the first group is Messerschmitt Bf-109s. Bf-109E. They've got 4 swarms. Starting at 5 and starting at mid-level. So 5 swarms. 5 on map at mid-level. All right, so we need Bf-109s. Here we go. And this will be group 10. There's that one starting right there. Group 2. Neither of the objectives were achieved in the last mission. This time we've got Bf-110s. Also with 4 swarms. I forgot to note the fuel for the Bf-109s. They have 2 fuel. Alright, 4 swarms starting at 3 on the map. I thought I saw a 110 counter in here. Yep, I've got one right here. They will start at 5 for Bf-110 is also mid-level. That's going to be at 3, so right here at mid-level. 3 mid-level, and the 110s have 4 ammo, or 4 fuel. Group number 3 for the Germans. That is another group of 109s. I'm just pulling and I forgot to note the counter. Okay, so that Bf-110 is counter 4. I'll get the 109s. I'll get this counter ready to go, assuming I can fish one out. Here we are. Alright, this will be counter 7. They are starting with 3 swarms. 2 fuel. Starting at 4, and for the 109, a 5 on the pink die, is they're starting at low level. So that's where they're going. So 3, so 4, low level. Not quite at sea level, but not too far from it. And I grabbed that already, so we've got Squadron 4 for the Luftwaffe. The 4th Staffel. This one is a Bf-109 with an ace. Let's see. Bf-109, here we are. That's counter 5 I'm grabbing, which has 4 swarms to it. Starting at 2 at low level. So 2 low level, and the BF-109s have 2 fuel. All right, so Stoffel 5. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. It looks like it should be coming through fine. I'm watching it on I'm looking at it on my laptop here. Okay, that's a 110. BF-110C will also have 4 swarms. Looks like the Germans are, well, so far they're coming for bear. I don't want to speak too soon. Grabbing counter 10 here. Starting at 5 at high level. Also 2 fuel. So 5 high level. They're starting back here. 2 more Stoffels coming. All right, that is 109s with an ace. There we go. That is counter 9 I've got. They will have 3 swarms. Starting at 1. And for a BF-109, 3 is going to put them at low level. So starting right there. And the BF-109s we established have 2 fuel. So our last Stoffel coming out is 110s. This is going to be BF-110 number 5. They've got 4 swarms. They are definitely coming loaded for bear. 5 at high level. Also with 4 fuel. Looks like this BF-110 I misnoted as having only 2 fuel. They've got 4. Okay, that should be everything I need for setup. I'm just going to double check that. Oh no, actually, I take that back. We actually did knock down... Looks like we actually did knock down 8 swarms, so we reduced the number of Stoffels by... So it looks like each of us should have 1 less squadron. So I actually did note that because I forgot about that on the mission. So the last squadrons for both sides are going to come off the map. So the Spitfires that are over here, yep, those are Spitfires. I'm not going to try to throw this across the... I'm not going to try to throw that across the camera. And the BF-110s that we just set up, those are going to come off the map as well. Okay, so I did track the number of Stoffel, or the number of Vixen swarms that I knocked down. Okay, I think the next one also... Yep, is also going to care about that. So, I think with that being said, we should be all set at this point. I'm just going to check on my notes. Yep, looks like we are set, so we go right into round 1. We'll roll for Luftwaffe movement first. We will do 1099 first. And we've got their orders over here. That needs a solo D6. A 4 for them is going to be turned to RAF, but they've got plenty of... This first turn is probably just going to be everybody getting moving. They've got a movement allowance of... I believe the movement allowance... Oh, movement allowance for the BF-109s is 3. So they'll move 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we'll just work from left to right. So we've got BF-109 5... is also going to get turned to RAF. 1, 2, 3. Next up, we're going to work from lower altitude up. So we've got BF 1097. Two is turn left. So turn left is just going to have them turn this way and then probably still move. I'm going to double check that. I do need the book to stay close. Turn left should have them turn and still move, I think. I'm just double checking the orders here. Turn left. I think that was just a turn. Yeah, that was a turn left. And then move it. Okay, so yep, we do turn, then move. So that one turned left. 1, 2, 3. All right, BF 110-4. So this is our first BF 110 movement. 6 is going to be turned to RAF. Also with a movement allowance of 3. 1, 2, 3. Next we've got BF 109-10. Three is turn right. So turn right, 1, 2, 3, and then 110, and then BF 110-10. They are getting 3 BF 110. That's a turn to RAF. 1, 2, 3. We'll see what the, speaking of the RAF, we're seeing what they're doing next. We'll go through in the same order. When do we roll for comms? I think we roll per squadron and modifiers, so we don't have any modifiers. We will start off with... Okay, we're going to start off with the... What is that? That's Hurricane 7. That one is... Hurricane 7, that's the one with the ace. So we'll see what they get for comms. Do they have a comms modifier? I don't think so. Nope. All right, they get move and engage. But like I said, I don't think there will be any engaging happening here. The hurricanes up there have, I think we've got all hurricanes now. Hurricanes have a movement allowance of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go to, we're going to be crowded here. We'll start off with Hurricanes 5. All right, that's a 3, so that'll be a no comms roll. No comms is probably just moving blind. I think no comms is just moving blindly. Yep, in the direction of its current facing. So yeah, just moving blindly. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're getting to, what is that, Hurricanes 8. Three is also no comms. 1, 2, 3. And last we've got Hurricanes 10. Yeah. We'll see if they actually get an order worth using. Also, no comms. Wow. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we don't have any dogfights to worry about, so we're into round 2 already. So now we're going into the Luftwaffe again. We're going to start off with BF 109. What is that? 1099. Seems like everything's behaving a lot better on the stream. I still don't know what happened on the Mag 23 stream I was doing earlier. Let's see, that's a 109. 5 is a turn to RAF. And actually they will just miss the hurricane right here. So turning right, 1, 2, 3. Coming over top though of a base, which I think triggers anti-air, doesn't it? Probably. I think it would have to be marked specifically, but I don't think it just triggers anti-air. All targets and city hexes contain anti-air. So I don't think... Yeah, that's Gosport, so I don't know. I'm trying to find out if that contains... if that's considered a city for purposes of... or something that can blast for anti-air. Okay, so yeah, convoys, radar stations, and airfield hexes, which I'm pretty sure that's an airfield hex. Yep, that is an airfield, so it's light. So it's light anti-air. So that was a turn to RAF. Light anti-air. We're going to have to roll for that. I'm going to put a bookmark in, another bookmark in for how anti-air works. So if it's 6 rolls, okay. So it has to roll, if a 6 is rolled, we have to roll for losses. So I'm going to roll blue for the anti-air, red for any losses if the blue die is a 6. If it's not, we're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore the red die. Okay, that's a 1, so no losses for BF 1099. Next, we're going to go to BF 1095. See what their order is going to end up being. A 1. BF 109 is getting moved straight ahead. 1, 2, 3. That is probably over a city. Yeah, we'll call that a city. So 1 is straight ahead. That's a city, so heavy anti-air. I'm going to grab 2 more D6s. Now, on a multiple roll like this, I think each 6 would count as a loss, right? For every 6 rolled, you must roll again to resolve any losses. Okay, so let's see how many hits we get for heavy anti-air. And this one has 3 Staffels? No, 4 Schwarms actually. We do get 1 6. So 1, 3, 6 will inflict a hit, but we need to roll for every 6 you have to roll again to resolve any losses based on starting altitude. Roll 2d6. Okay, no defend roll applies. Okay, so we've got 2 more rolls that we're rolling for here. This one started at low level. So because they started at low level, on a roll of 4 to 6, it loses a Schwarm. So it looks like it'll potentially lose 2. Oh yeah, it'll get rocked. So they'll lose 2 swarms. That's BF 110, 1095. That's getting cut in half already. I'm sure the Luftwaffe is not happy about that in the slightest. We'll go over to 110.4. See what move they're getting. Excuse me. It's BF 1094 is a turn to RAF. So they're turning here. They're going to turn here to the RAF, actually. 1, 2, 3. Actually, yeah. That's probably how they'd turn. Now coming down to 110, BF 110.4. Actually, that was BF 110.7 we did. Now we're doing 4. That's a 3 BF 110. That's going to be a turn to RAF. So they're going to turn here. 1, 2, 3. Just miss. And lastly, we've got BF... Actually, we've got 2 more we've got to do. We've got to do BF 110.10. That's a 4. That'll be a turn to RAF. Unfortunately, they can't get there. 1, 2, 3. As they're going to go blindly by it. And we've got BF 110, 109.10. That's a 3. That'll be a turn right for 109.10. So turn right. It's at the edge of the map. So would you just turn around and come right back? Because turn right would end up with him here. I think he would turn until he gets into a direction he can actually move. 1, shouldn't be returned to base yet. 2, 3. Now, the other thing I need to check is because we passed through a unit with a friendly, because we passed through a hex with a friendly unit, do we have to roll for collisions? Stoppable moves. Roll based on the lowest movement allowance. Okay, so it looks like this group of Hurricanes is going to move together. But that's still not telling me what I want to find out. We'll reverse facing and continue its move in the opposite direction. Okay, so he was here. So he's going to reverse and go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so never mind that. Now we have BF 109.10. Or, yeah, 109.10. That's getting a turn left. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So for the RAF, actually I'm going to grab out a massed formation marker for this group over here. Here we go. Massed formation 1. So they were facing all here. Just so I know who's where. So it looks like we roll once for the massed formation together, if I'm understanding that correctly. Just going to double check that. Roll and move the number of hexes. Okay, so yeah. It looks like they move together as a massed formation. They're not required. Okay, so each... It looks like we actually do roll for each of them and move them individually. So we'll start off with Hurricane 7. See if they've got comms. That's a no comms. So they're moving 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go to, let's see, do we want the mass formation to move together, or I think we roll for them individually. So we'll start with Hurricanes 5. Right, they're getting move and engage. So they're move and engage. They're actually going to go make friends with this BF-110 squadron up here. So they're getting move and engage. We'll take Hurricanes 8 next. So the formation is starting to break up here. 6, they're also getting move and engage. I'll send them after this 109 after 109E10. So now we've just got Hurricanes 10. Let's see what they're getting. 3 is no comms. So 1, 2, 3. And now we do have a pair of dogfights that we have to resolve. And everybody's got... Actually, let's come up here first. So we've got Hurricanes 5. Hurricanes 5 versus 110-4. Let's get the sides established. So Hurricanes 5 has 3 Vicks. So we've got 3 blue dice for them. I'm just making notes here. 3 blue. And then for the Luftwaffe, BF-110C4 has 4 swarms. We'll get red dice for them. And everybody gets a plus... Actually, the RAF gets a +1 because they're rolling against fighter Stoffels. Right? Yes. Actually, no. Spitfires get that. These are Hurricanes. So we'll roll to see what we've got here. Let's see. Hurricanes hit on a 5, defend on a 1. The 110s hit on a 6, defend on a 2. Let me get that out of the way. And let's see how this dogfight's going to go. Okay, so that is So we rolled a 1-5-5, which will be 2 hits and a defend. But I'm pretty sure this is all going to cancel out. 2 hits and 1 defend. Whereas the Luftwaffe rolled a 1-2-4-5, which is no hits and 2 defends. Yes. So that will ultimately cancel out the hits that the RAF were able to deal out. So that is Hurricanes 5 is down to 2 fuel, and that was 110. That was BF-110-4. BF-110-4 is down to 3 fuel. Okay. Our other dogfight is over here. We've got Hurricanes 8 versus 109-10. Hurricanes 8 has 2 Vicks. This could be a problem. 2 Vicks. And the Germans... What is that? So... All right, BF 10910. BF 10910's got 4 dice. That's a problem. Just like before, the Hurricanes hit on a 5 defend on a 1. The 109s do the same. Let's see how bad this is going. Actually, yeah. Let's see how bad this is going to be. Okay, that's 1 hit. So that's a 2 and a 5. Which is 1 hit and no defends, right? Yes. So 1 hit, no defends. Whereas the Germans rolled a 1, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 hit and a defend. All right, so that means the Germans did shoot down a Vic. So Hurricanes 8 is now down to 1 Vic and 2 fuel, whereas BF 10910 only loses 1 fuel. So that's going to be a bit of trouble, and I don't think we have any end of round bookkeeping that needs to be done. So we are all set for round 3. We'll start off with the Luftwaffe. Going to 1095. We'll see what movement order they get. Alright, so I will make one more note here. 1 Vic downed. 5 for that one is turned to RAF. So turning to RAF is going to be sending them in reverse. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so turn to RAF. Now, there was one more thing I needed to pay attention to. I didn't use that as a bookmark, thankfully, but I did. Oh, here it is. So that's after a dogfight, everybody participating is scattered. Alright, so we need to come back here and roll for dogfight. So so before we pick up on the orders, we'll roll blue for the RAF, red for the Germans. What direction they get scattered to. Alright, a 6 says the RAF is going to end up here. Says the Hurricanes 5 is going to end up there, and a 2 says 110-4 is going to end up facing that direction. Then for the groups out here, that's Hurricanes 8 and 109-10. 109, actually, we'll put the RAF down first. They're going to end up facing toward the map, whereas 109-10 on a 3 is going to end up also... Actually, wait a minute. No, that's a 1. They're going to end up facing straight ahead. Okay, so they're going to end up like that. I want to keep that chart close-ish. Now back to the action. We did 109.5. They ended up here. So we've got 109.9. Five is going to be turned to RAF. So they're going to end up turning here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so looks like that one's going to end up being another dogfight because that's going to leave Hurricanes 5 stuck in a very bad position. All right, next we're going to 109.7. Three, 109, that's going to be a turn right for 109.7, so they're turning right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next we've got BF 110-4. 5 is turned to RAF. So BF 110-4 is turning to RAF, turning 1, 2, 3. Let's see, then we've got 109-10. Four is turned to RAF. So they're turning 1, 2, 3, trying to chase down this group of hurricanes. And last we've got one. We did 110-4, so I think we did 109-7. Who's the last? There should be one more group that I haven't done yet. Looks like I haven't done. Hold on, I gotta figure out which group I haven't done yet. So 109-9 I got, 109-5, 110-7. They are. Wait, do I have 110-7? No, I don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 109-7. Oh wait, I think it was 110-4, but I did them. Let's see, we got 2 10s. Did I do both 10s? No, I didn't. It looks like it's 109-10 I'm missing, which is right here. Took me a minute to find them. Oh wait, I did do BF 109-10. So who's the missing unit then? 109-5 I did. 109-9. 109-7? Where's 109? Oh, 109-7 right here. Duh. I couldn't find him for a minute. 2 is a turn left. So 109-7 turning left. 1, 2, 3. Now for the RAF's comms rolls. We'll start off with Hurricane 7. Four is move but don't engage. Moving straight ahead is going to have him not engaging anyway. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see. We've got Hurricanes 5. That's going to be stuck in a dogfight. We've got Hurricanes 8, which is a no comms. So he can turn here. 1, 2, 3. He's going to end up in a dogfight with 109-10. It'll be BF 109-9. And our last hurricane unit being Hurricanes 10 is also no comms. 1, 2, 3. So now we've got 2 dogfights to go through. So our first dogfight is going to start us right here. Looks like we've got Hurricanes 5 versus BF 109-9. Let's see. For Hurricanes 5 has 3 blue dice. Start getting that ready. BF 109-9. Oh, that's an ace. So they actually get 4 red dice because they've got an ace in there. Okay. All right, once again, Hurricanes and BF-109s both hit on a 5, defend on a 1. Alright, so the RAF rolls a 2-4-4, which is nothing. Whereas the Luftwaffe rolled a 1-1-3-4. That'll be good for 2 defends, but since the RAF couldn't hit anything anyway, that doesn't do anything for them either. So Hurricanes 9 are now down to 2 fuel. And BF-109-9 is down to 1 fuel. And our other, well, let's deal with the orientation first for these two in the dogfight. They're both going to end up facing the same way, so they're probably going to end up being dance partners again, assuming BF-109-9 can survive the gauntlet. So let's go to our other dogfight, which is down here with Hurricanes 8 versus BF-109-10. Hurricanes 8, I think, is in trouble, aren't they? Yeah, they're down to 1 Vic, so they've got 1 blue die. Whereas the Luftwaffe should be at full, this one should be at full strength. Which one is this? BF-109-9. Also has an ace, so they've got 4 red dice. This does not look good if you're this does not look good if you're a Brit. The Brits roll a 4, which does nothing. And unfortunately for the Brits, the Germans roll a 3, 4, 4, 6. The 6 is good for a hit, which will knock the last Vic out of the sky. Which will knock that Vic out, and the Hurricane 8 has now been completely shot down. Bad break for the Germans or for the Brits in this one. We'll see where. So should have been. Oh right, they only had 2 to begin with, I think. Yes. Yep. All right, let's see where BF-109-10 is facing after the dogfight. 4 says they're facing down toward the bottom of the map where they're already facing. Yikes. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem, and now we're into round 4. Let's see what the Luftwaffe is getting up to here. We will start with BF-109-5. Also, BF-109-10. BF-109-10 is now out of fuel, so now he's returned to base. So that's something for the Brits, but not a lot here. BF-109-5 is getting turned to RAF. Oh, we need to roll to see if the pilots are lost on those 2. So we had 1 get shot down. I think they both got shot down over water. I always forget to roll for losses here. Roll to see if the pilots are lost. That's what I always forget to do. Now I've got to see if I can find that. Okay, so put another marker in here. So we had 1, as Troy Sawyer joins in here. Tuned in late, looks like a good game, have to watch from the beginning. It's actually a lot of fun, Troy. I really like a lot of these historic Wings games, and I'm actually doing a whole day of games, a whole Wings Wednesday, I call it, designated to Historic Wings games. So let's roll for the first Vic that was downed. We'll pretend it was downed. It was probably downed about here, I think. So that is actually 3 hexes from land. So 2d6. That's right. Okay, for RAFs lost, -1 for each hex counted from the nearest land hex. If it's a 5+, they're considered lost. If it's under 5, if it's or less than 5+. Okay, so they've got to be 4 or less. Which that's a 9 minus 4 is 5. So that one. So the first one is considered saved. As for the other pilot, they were lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes from land. This is not as likely. A 6 minus 5 is 1, so that pilot is lost. Okay. So the Luftwaffe pilots are considered lost. Lost over England. Okay. All right, so now that we've got that sorted out, we're back to 1095, turning toward the RAF. So we're going to go, let's see, turning to the RAF. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, coming down toward Hurricane 7. Then we've got BF 1099. See what order he's getting. A 1 is probably just straight ahead. Yep. He's going to be starting to run an anti-air gauntlet. 1, 2, that's light anti-air. That's a 5, nothing happening. 3, more light anti-air. This time it's a hit. He started at, so 9 started at low level, which means we need to roll so started at low level, loses on a 4 to 6. It does lose a stop of swarm, so 9. And the pilot is considered to be lost because it's over Britain. So that will count. So that's BF 1099 is now down to 2 swarms. So fortunate anti-air for the RAF. Next unit we've got is, we did BF 1095 already, so let's do BF 1097. See what order he's getting. 4 should be BF 1097, yep, that's a turn to RAF, so he's going to end up here with a dogfight against Hurricane 7. Then we've got 110C4. A 5, that's a turn to RAF. BF 110-4, that's a turn to RAF. He's going to end up in the dogfight as well. So they're going to have a lot of problems. So that British squadron is going to have a lot of problems coming up. Now that was actually 110C4. What did we do for? Oh no, that was 10. Never mind. Now we're doing 4. Five is another turn to RAF. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. And we've got 10910. He's getting 10910 is turn right. Yep, turn right. 1, 2, 3. So the Brits have all kinds of problems right now. RAF, we're going to start off with Hurricanes 5. We'll see if they've got comms. They get to move and engage. So I think they are going to go after BF 1099. They're going to end up in a dogfight versus BF 1099. So 1, 2, 3. As Randy Smith now tunes in, as now stops by here in the Battle of Britain. Moving down, yeah, we've got all kinds of problems right now. Hurricane 7 is going to be in a dogfight. They're going to be dogfighting with both BF 1097 and 11010. At least I think that's how that's going to work out, and I don't know why my stream started going nuts again. As for Hurricanes 10... Oh, wait, we did the... Oh, wait, 109 should actually be returned to base. So 109.10 should actually be returned to base. Return to base for them... 109.10 is 5 on the map at medium level. So actually, this unit comes completely off the map. So they're off the map. They're out of the scenario. They were returning to base anyway, back in the German Cup. And we were looking at Hurricanes 10 to see if they have comms. They're probably going to be joining this mess. 6, yeah, they're moving and engaging. So they're going to end up in this party as well. So they're ending up in the fight with Hurricanes 5, giving them a little bit of help. So now we've got a whole mess of dogfights coming here. So we're going to start off at the top of the map. All right, so we've got Hurricanes 5 versus 1099. So Hurricanes 5 is not rolling a lot of dice, I don't think. Nope, they're rolling 3 blue dice. It's probably the Germans, it's probably BF 1099 that got hit on the dice front a little bit more. 1099 has an ace though, so they actually get 3 red dice because of the ace. So they've got 3 red as well. Hurricanes and BF 109s both hit on a 5, defend on a 1. Here we go. Okay, that's a 2-4-5. So each side looks like it's going to deal out casualties in this fight. 1 hit for the Brits and a 3-5-5 will be 2 hits for the Germans. Let's see, the Luftwaffe pilot is considered lost. 1 swarm downed. Pilot lost. Whereas the Germans are going to knock down 2 Vics. Pilot rescued. Because we are over Britain in this scenario. So I don't think that'll take either group out. BF 1099, they're down to 1. BF, that's Hurricanes 5. Hurricanes 5 is also down to 1. So now we'll see where the 2 sides are scattering to. The British are going to end up turning completely around. Whereas the Germans are going to end up facing in this direction. Let me make sure neither one is going to end up returned to base, though, after that. Let's see, Hurricanes 5 has 1 fuel left. BF 1099 is returned to base after this. So they're done in the dogfight. So they're going to be trying to get themselves back to base. Now, let me check dogfights involving massed formations. Nope, I think everybody just fights together. So, yeah, I think it's just going to be a dogfights. Let's see, the number of Vicks at the beginning determines the number. Okay, so yeah, it looks like everybody's just going to roll together. So now we're coming down to this party. So we've got Hurricanes 5. Actually, no, we don't have Hurricane 5 up. Hurricanes 5 is up here. I'm going to mark this with a pink die so I know where the battle is currently taking place. So the pink die is representing our battle space. This is to help me keep everything straight, just for what we've got going on here. So we've got Hurricanes 7 and 10 versus BF 110-10 and BF 109-7. The RAF 10 and 7, 4, 2, 6 blue dice for the 6 blue dice for the German, or for the Brits. So I need more dice here. We're actually going to be rolling a lot of dice. Fortunately, this is why I keep a dice cup around. 6 blue dice. And then for the Germans, they're rolling, let's see, BF 110-10. 110-10 is 4, and 109-7. 7 red dice. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of dice we're going to have to sift through. 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, no, I take that back. I do need different colored dice. So here's how I'm going to do this. So the Luftwaffe... So the red dice can stay. It's the blue... no, the blue dice are what can stay. The red dice I need to sift through a little bit more. Because thankfully they're all Hurricanes. So the BF 110s are going to stay. I think everybody hits the same, so it doesn't really... Oh no, that does matter. The 110s hit on a 6, defend on a 2. So... Sorry, I'm just figuring out how I want to do this. Camera didn't freeze on me. Okay, good. Alright, so 110-10. 110-10's got 4, so they're going to get the red dice. Okay, so I'm going to get 3 green dice for the BF 109s. So that's the mess. That's the mess that we're rolling in this dogfight. Let's see what we can figure out here in all this carnage. Okay, we will start off with the Brits rolling a 1-1. 2, 5, 6, 6. So that will be 3 hits and 2 defends. Whereas the BF 109s rolled a 2, 3, 3. So red Should have been one. Oh, looks like a green die got stuck. Actually, 2 dice got stuck in there. So the reds were 2, 3, 3, 3. Nothing for the 110s. Whereas green rolled a 1, 2, and a 4. So that'll be 2 defends. For the, I gave the BF 109s. Yeah, they defend on a 1. So actually, that'll be 1 defend. Now, if I'm logical about this, I think with the 3 hits and 2 defense, so the British aren't taking any damage here. If I'm them, if I'm the British, I think I would be assigning the hits. If I'm thinking about this logically, they're going to assign. They're going to hit the 110s. So actually, they did get one. So they actually did get 1 defend, which means they're ultimately going to cancel out. They're going to deal 1 hit, net 1 hit. So that will be for. So they'll hit the. They'll hit the BF 109s. So they'll deal a hit to 109.7. So 109.7 is going to be down to 2. And we need to see if the pilot is rescued. So they are currently 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes from land. So 6 minus 2, that pilot is considered lost. All right, we're going to be going into round 5 momentarily. But before we do that, we need to figure out where everybody's facing. Actually, we need one more colored die. So we need to do this. All right, so blue is going to be Hurricanes 5. Red is the Hurricanes 7. Green is going to be BF 109 7. And pink is BF 110 10. Okay, so both of the Hurricane squadrons are going to end up facing the same direction. They're going to be facing here. So those 2 are done. The BF 109 7 is going to end up facing that direction. And BF 110 10 is going to end up facing that direction. Let's reduce everybody's fuel by 1. Make sure nobody is returned to base after all of that carnage, though. So that was Hurricanes 7 and 10. And BF 109 7 is not returned to base. This was BF 110 10. BF 110 10. BF 110 10 actually is returned to base. So, yeah. So he's actually returned to base. He is trying to get back. BF 110 10 is trying to get back over here, which I think he will make it, so we'll deal with him first. So he's returned to base. I know he's technically supposed to go from the top, but he will make it 1, 2, 3. He will make it out of the scenario. You're technically supposed to go from the top of the map to the bottom, but I'm doing it this way. So now we'll go BF 109 9, who is also returned to base. So he's trying to get to 1099 is also RTB. He's trying to get back to 1 at low level. So he's trying to get back over here. But he's going to have to run a gauntlet of anti-air. He's also down, I think there's only one swarm left for him. BF 1099, yeah, he's down to 1 swarm. So if he gets knocked down, he's out of the scenario. Okay. Never mind, the 2, so 1, 2, 3. Nope. The blue die is what I'm paying attention to determine if there are losses. But since that was a 2, there are no losses. Let me get this marker back in with the anti-air. Oh, never mind, I've got one there. Okay, we're fine. No need to panic. Okay, so we're coming back to BF 1095. Let's see what order he's getting. 4 is turned to RAF. He's going to end up in the mess most likely. Yes. Because that's turned to RAF. So he's going to end up here alone. BF 1097. He's getting turned to RAF, which he's going to be turning up here, going 1, 2, 3. And 110-4. Is getting, BF 110-4 is also getting turned to RAF. So we're going to have another mess, it looks like, of a dogfight up there. All right. I think we're probably going to have to do it the exact same way as well. So dogfight versus hurricanes, I think that is 7 and 10, yes. Yep. They are all in that same space. The pile of chits just went falling on me. And it doesn't want to stay. There we go. Okay. Hurricanes 5 was facing here. They are no comms. 1, 2, 3. Whereas Hurricanes 7 and 10 are both stuck in another chaotic dogfight. So let's jump into that dogfight once again. I'll mark that hex again. And we've got the same situation we had earlier. Okay, so we've got 7 blue dice once again. 6 or 7. 7 and 10 for the Hurricanes, 6 dice. So Hurricanes 7 and 10 versus BF 110-4 and BF 1095. They have 6 blue, whereas the Luftwaffe is going to have a bit more of a chaotic role here. So they're going to give the BF 110s have, so BF 110-4 has 4 red dice. And the BF 109, so BF 110-4, BF 109-5. 109-5 has an ace, so they get 3 green dice again. All right, the 110s hit on a 6, defend on a 2. Everything else hits on a 5, defends on a 1. All right, so the British roll a 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is that's 2 hits and 1 defend. So the blue dice are done. The BF 110s roll a 1, 2, 5, 6. So they roll 2 hits and 2 defends. And the BF 109s roll a 1, 4, 5. The BF 109s roll 1 hit and 1 defend. So that means the Germans are able to cancel out both of the hits, and the Germans are able to cancel one of the hits, so the Germans will net 2 hits. Can they wipe out a squadron with that? 7 and 10. Yes, they can. They will. Oh, the Brits actually had an ace, and Squadron 7-4 is not going to do anything for them. So the Germans actually can wipe out the squadron with the ace. So they will. Wipe out Hurricane's number. That was Hurricane 7 that they wiped out. We'll roll to see if the pilots are... So Hurricane 7 is off the map completely. We'll see if the pilots are lost. We'll roll 2d6. We'll roll for each pilot individually. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away from land. 5 minus 4 is 1, so 1 pilot's lost. As for the other, both pilots are lost. So that's tragic for the Brits. All right, now we got to roll for facing. At least one of these units is probably going to end up being RTB. Blue is Hurricanes 10. Red is BF 110. Green is BF 109. Okay, so the German units are both going to end up facing the same direction. The German units are both facing... The German units are both going to end up facing this way, whereas the Brit is going to end up facing here. Oop, hold up. 5 was over... Hurricanes 5 was no comms. I think he was here. So that should be 10. Who's ending up... 10 is ending up here. These two are ending up over here. Once I get that done, I will adjust fuel and make sure nobody's returned to base. So Hurricane 10 is the one that survived. Hurricanes 10 is returned to base. And I imagine both German units will be as well. 110-4 is not. I'd be stunned if the 109 isn't returned to base. 109-5, nope. Actually, the Brit is returned to base. Neither of the German units are, though. That could be trouble. That could be trouble for the British. That could be a lot of trouble, actually. No end of round bookkeeping. We've got round 6 coming up. So we're going to start off with BF 1099 that is returned to base. And we established he's trying to get BF 1099 is trying to get 1 to low levels. So he's trying to get 1, 2, 3. Then we've got 1097. Let's see what order he's getting. 6, that's a turn to RAF. So he's going to end up in a dogfight with Hurricanes 5. Then we'll do BF 1095. He's getting turned to RAF, so he's going to end up 1, 2, 3. BF 110-4. BF 110-4 is getting turn left. Turn left is going to end up with him going 1, 2, 3. He's going to end up facing like that. Then Hurricanes 10 is returned to, so now RAF. Hurricanes 10 is returned to base. He's trying to get to... Hurricanes 10 is returned to base. He's trying to get to Tangmere. So 1, 2, 3. He's got to get out of here as fast as he can. Hurricanes 5 is stuck in a dogfight. Versus BF 1097. Which, let's go into said dogfight next. So Hurricanes, what is that? Hurricanes 7 has an ace, so they get 3 blue dice. Whereas the Germans have BF 1097, 2 red dice. We've got Hurricanes against BF 109s. Everybody hits on a 5, defends on a 1. Alright, the Brits roll a 3, 3, 4. That does nothing for them. Whereas the Germans roll a 2 and a 6. That'll give them 1 hit. So they'll down a Vic. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away from land. That will definitely end up with a pilot lost. So yeah, so that pilot's lost. We'll roll for facing. The Brit is going to end up... Okay, the Brit's going to end up facing here, whereas the German is going to end up facing here. We'll make sure nobody is RTB after that fight. So that was going to be BF 1097. BF 1097 is returned to base. What is that? Hurricanes 5. Hurricanes 5 is also RTB, so the scenario is just about done at this point. Because now we're starting to get most of our units being returned to base. And BF 1097 is trying to get 4 low levels. They're trying to get back over here. Okay, so round 7. Luftwaffe. We'll start off with anybody who's RTB first. That is BF 1099. So he's going 1, 2, 3. Does that take 1099 off the map? 1099. It does. So he's off the map. Okay, next unit is BF 1097. He is trying to get BF 1097. He's trying to get 4 to low level. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's basically off the map, so I'll take him off as well. Because he's just going to move there next turn. So yeah, he's basically there. As for our 2 active units, both of our Brits are returned to base. So we've got BF 1095 is getting, BF 1095 is getting turn right. But that's going to end up with him in a dogfight against Hurricanes 5. Unfortunately for the Hurricanes, they can't defend themselves. They're out of ammunition. So basically the Germans are getting a free shot here. So the British will have to hope that Hurricanes 5 can evade. BF 110-4 is getting, BF 110-4 is getting turned to RAF. So he's getting 1, 2, 3. He's going to end up bypassing the dogfight, but it's not going to be too long, I don't think. RAF. So Hurricanes 10 is returned to base. 1, 2, 3. And then Hurricanes 5 is stuck. And unfortunately for them, BF 1097 is, BF 1095 is getting a free shot. So yeah, this is a big problem if you're a Brit. BF 1095 with an ace is going to be returned to base after this, but they get three red dice. If they roll, Hurricanes 5 has 1 Vic left. So if this group of 109s rolls at least 1 5, then they actually shoot down the squadron completely. Wow, they wanted that one out of the sky bad. That's 3 hits, so this squadron has completely been eliminated. Well, there was only 1 left. And 9 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 is just barely 5, so the pilot is barely saved. But this squadron will almost certainly be RTB. Okay, let's see, 109, that's 1095. 1095 is returned to base. Okay. Okay, so now we've got round 8. Luftwaffe, we'll start off with BF 1095. He's RTB, trying to get to... 1095 is trying to get to 2 at low level. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3. Actually, I think he just tries to get off the map. I think that's all he's doing when he's RTB. Toward the bottom of the edge of the map until he exits. Okay, so 2, 3. So he's turning there. 1, 2, 3. He's off the edge of the map. Okay. So we've got BF 110-4, who is not returned to base yet. BF 110-4 is still rolling for movement. But he's not going to be on the map for long. Actually, the scenario is not going to be going for long. Turns to RAF. So he's turning 1, 2, 3. Then for the RAF, we've got Hurricanes 10 who are RTB. One, two. Trying to get to Tangmere, he's off the map, and the scenario's over. So now we'll tally up victory points. Gee, I wonder who's going to end up winning this scenario. Okay, so let's see how many pilots we each knocked down. So, didn't have anything in round one. So for Britain, they didn't knock down a lot of swarms, I don't think. Anti-air helped. Actually, they did hit 2. But I think that is it for the British. So 2 hits, whereas the Germans got did a lot more damage. And I think we count victory points for the pilots that are lost as well. Victory conditions. I'll check one more thing here. Shoot down at least one Luftwaffe ace, so they did get that. So that'll be 4 more victory points for the British. Shot down an ace. So they'll get 6 victory points out of that, but I think the Germans will probably make that up. They didn't do any strafing on the radar stations. So coming back here, the Germans downed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they got 8 victory points, and it's probably a pilots are lost, victory conditions. Okay, so that is definitely going to be a win for the Germans on the day, as they downed 8 Vics to the Brits 2. To the Brits 2 swarms. But that will be a win for the Germans, and that will do it for this playthrough of Tally-Ho. Tragic day if you're a Brit, from the sounds of it. But nothing that can be done about that. Definitely enjoy this one now that I feel like I'm not fighting with it as much as I was previously. But we've got a couple things to do before I sign off on this video. I didn't want to do it earlier when I didn't want to do it in the Mag-23 Guadalcanal stream after I started having problems with it. So, after I started having problems with the stream. So what we're going to do here is I've got a couple things that I need to see to before I sign off. So let me do a little bit of cleanup so I can at least get the table to what I call a usable state. That's going to go in here. There we go. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to deal with the delivery that I got in last night from Amazon. It was coming in probably as I was finishing up Strat Baseball, but let's see what we've got in here. There we are. Oop. There we are. And the first thing we're greeted by in here is the deluxe edition of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection for PlayStation 5. I have been a huge fan of Mortal Kombat, less some of the grief I've been getting that's been going on with NetherRealm Studios over the last few years. But Mortal Kombat, as far as video game franchises go, I'm going to hide that for a second. As far as video game franchises go, Mortal Kombat is easily, if not number one, definitely top 3 of my favorite video game franchises of all time. It's probably Mortal Kombat, Final Fantasy, and honestly, I would say Metal Gear Solid, because those are 3 series of games that I played, even into moving out on my own. So definitely had a lot with those. But yeah, like I said, probably my top 3 franchises of all time. Also in here, we've got another franchise I'm a big fan of. This one is the Star Wars deck building game Clone Wars Edition by Fantasy Flight. You've seen the Star Wars deck building game on the channel. This is the Clone Wars version of it. So as you can see, very similar here. I'm going to put that on the pile of stuff to be unboxed. But that's where we're going to sign off this stream. And that took a lot longer than I thought it would. So I'm planning on getting to at least one more... one more Historic Wings game today. I wanted to do 2 more, but we'll see how that shapes up. So there should be at least one more Historic Wings game coming on the channel today. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications to get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.